All right, guys. So good evening. We're excited. This is June 2nd, the second day of the month. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. I am Carissa, Triple Diamond with It Works. And we wanted to come to you guys tonight with a special Zoom, with a special topic on overcoming. A lot of you guys in this business or in life in general go through things, and it's not about what you go through, but it's how you get through it. So we've been able to, have different personal development that we personally do that has helped us with being able to overcome what we go through. And I wanted to be able to have someone on that I personally know her story and I know what she's overcome. And so I wanted her on here to give you guys this amazing knowledge and experience from her, because she was going to share it but at the last event we had, but the other topic needed to be said, and I love that too. So we put that in Line Chasers already. Alonda put that in there, and it's in the announcement section at the top. So make sure you check that out. But this is going to be amazing. So if you guys have anything you're going through in life, just know that you can get through it. You can overcome it. You just have to be willing to and really want your goals and really want your dreams to happen. So I'm going to introduce you guys to our Ambassador Diamond, our direct upline, myself and Alonda, and Tamara and Andrea, if you guys are on her team on here, or if you're personally sponsored to her. She has been with this business. It'll be 14 years at this month, actually. We're in June. Yeah. So it'll be 14 years this month. I know that because my son's birthday this month. You the same years as him. So she was our first Ambassador Diamond with the company. She's also been able to reach double diamond with her 2.0 leg, because when you get to Ambassador, they'll let you start over to get to the top again. So she's at double diamond with that leg. So if you guys go to that chart, you can see exactly about average how much she's making. But she is a top 12 income earner. But for as long as I know her, she's in top 5. So she's top 5 still in my book. So I want to give you guys our Ambassador Diamond in Tennessee, Miss Melody McFarland. Thank you so much, first off, for having time to come on and talk about this, because I know it's going to be a tearjerker. I know it's going to be a lot that's going to be said. And when I heard it, it was just like, oh. But a lot of people need to know that. They need to see that it's not just all glitz and glamour, that you go through stuff.
Yeah. Wow. How do I follow that, girl?
I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm just like,
You're on it. You're looking good too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're glowing. I don't know. You look good. Yeah. So anyhow, like Carissa said, and the end of this month, June 28th, marks my 14th year in It Works. But my network marketing history or journey started in 1990. And I was 34 years old at that time, and so was Blair. We were 34. We had 4 kids. We were trying to, just getting through life, just living life. And we both felt that there had to be more in life than just working all the time and working and never having enough for anything extra. Just, always having to worry about where the next, bit of money was going to come from to buy the kids their school supplies or their clothes, or, with 4 kids, there wasn't ever any extra money. And, vacations, we never took vacations because Blair worked all the time. He was self-employed. He was in the construction industry. And, if he took time off, then he wasn't getting paid. And so we just kept believing that there just had to be more to life. I went to the university over in Murfreesboro, Tennessee for 6 months. And I was like, this is not for me. I don't have a clue what I want to do. I didn't have any kind of a career necessarily that I was looking at or that I wanted to do. I really, at that time when I started in college, I just didn't know what I wanted. So I thought it was a waste of money. And so after 6 months, I said, nah, this isn't for me. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not doing this. And so, Blair was the same way. He actually, we didn't know each other. We went to high school together, and we were in the same grade, and we were in the same, you know, but we weren't in the same crowd of people. You know, I was in the good guys, the little goody two shoes, didn't get in trouble, and he was with the dope smoking hippies. And so that was in high school. And, you know, after 10 years at our 10-year class reunion is where I hooked up with Blair, and we became we fell madly in love. And at that point, he was over those kinds of days. You know, he wasn't doing that kind of stuff anymore. And I had, you know, we just fell in love at our 10-year class reunion. And we've been together ever since. And that was in 1983. And we've been together ever since. And, you know, we just knew there had to be more to life. But how were we going to achieve more? You know, I couldn't do any more than I was already doing, working as a secretary. Can y'all imagine that? Those of you that know me, you know, back then it was all about filing and taking care of stuff and being organized and keeping my boss looking good and everything. And like I said, Blair was in construction. So we had to figure out a way. And our good friends, Jeff and Susie Reel, came over one day and they handed us a cassette tape and said, you need to listen to this tape. And we're like, oh, okay, what's it about? And they're like, just listen to it. So we listened to it, and it talked about if you had money and if you had the time to go with it, where would you go? What would you do? What would you have? Would you live in the same house? Would you drive the same car? Would your kids go to the same school? Would you be able to give more? And it really got us thinking, yes, if we had time and money. See, it's not just good enough to have a lot of money. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money, but they don't have any time. And there's a lot of people that got a lot of time out there, but they don't have any money. So you need the balance of both. And when we first heard that, we're like, yeah, but how are we going to do that? And so that was our first introduction to network marketing. And we jumped in. We thought, wow, if we have just a chance to do better for ourselves, to be able to make the kind of money that we knew that we deserved to make, and that we felt like we earned, you know, we could earn that we were not afraid to work. We just needed a chance. And so network marketing for us became that chance. And we just took off. And I'm sorry to say we didn't make any money, but we did learn a lot, and we did get introduced to personal development. We got we got handed the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Magic of Believing, The Magic of Thinking Big, Think and Grow Rich. These books changed our lives. And we started realizing that we could, if we grew like these books were saying, and we become the kind of people like these books were saying, that we could be successful. And so for 15 years, we were chasing our dreams through that network marketing, avenue, but we just weren't in the right company at the right time, or with the right products or the right marketing plan. In June 28, 2005, I got introduced to It Works. And it just was right time, right company, right place, right comp plan, right product. And I got excited. And so you got to remember, I had 15 years of personal development, basically, before we found the right thing. And I will tell you, you have found the right company. This is the right company, and it's at the right time, and you're in with the right people. And you will find that this is more than just a business and all. So along the way, Blair and I know that Carissa mentioned that there, stuff happens, things happen, and you have distractions, you have tragedies, you have things that affect your whole life. And I just knew when I got started with this, I didn't even know what I was doing. I had no idea how to build this. I didn't know anything other than the products worked. And I got excited. They were amazing products at a great price. And I got so excited about it. I didn't know how I was making the money. I just knew I was making money. And it was magical. And we started out with that wrap, that crazy wrap. And I just knew if I could get that wrap on people, they were either going to become a customer of mine, or they were going to be a distributor, or they were going to do nothing. And if I followed up, they would do something. And we still have that amazing product today, but now we've got so much more. And we have products that people are getting results with. And when you have products that give results that are a fair price, and they can only get them through you, then you got to be bold enough and you got to know enough about your products that you are not afraid to talk to people about it. So you just have to get excited. And that's all I did. Y'all, I was ignorance on fire. I just knew this product worked for me. It worked for my husband. It worked for my friends. And it was going to work for anybody that I put it on because I believed it. Okay? I believed in these products. And I will tell you that it was so much fun. And things were hopping and going and rolling. And, the thing is right before we got into this business, 3 years prior to that, Blair and I lost our youngest daughter in a car accident. And we thought that life as we knew it, and we knew that life as we knew it was over for us. And we had 3 other children, but she was the youngest. And, when something like that happens to you, without strong faith in God, then you have nothing to believe in. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and you don't have that strong faith in God, and I'm not here to preach at you or anything, it's part of my story. That is the only thing that got us through this horrible, tragic time. She died in a car accident. And, 1 minute they're there, the next minute they're gone. And everybody has tragic things like that happen in their life. And I think one of the worst is losing a child. Everything that you hoped for that person, that you wanted for that person. And her name was Lisa, and she was 21 years old. She was a student at Vanderbilt University. She was going to be a doctor. She was in pre-med. She was living her dream. She wanted to be a pediatrician. And ever since she was a little girl, she had eye problems. She had what they called blepharitis. And so we had to take her to a specialist at Vanderbilt Hospital. And it was in their children's hospital. And so she would go see this doctor. And that set the dream in her as a little girl that one day she would become a pediatrician, and she would go to Vanderbilt University, and she was going to become a doctor. So she was living her dream, and that just got taken from her. And so, there was that gap between January of 2002 to June of 2005 when, we just didn't know each day if we could get through another day. But with our faith in God, we were able to do that. And do you know that the divorce rate for couples who lose a child is in the high 80s, 80%, 87% of marriages end in divorce after losing a child. And because of our faith in God, we were able to somehow, some way give each other grace to grieve in the way that we could best grieve. You know, Blair grieved differently than I did. There were days when I was resentful because he just wasn't moving on. And there were days that he was resentful because, you know, I was choosing to move on. You see what I'm saying? So it can really cause a lot of problems. So we had dealt with that. And I started in June 2005. And in September, on her birthday, September the 2nd, 2005, I don't know what happened to me, but I just went into this really deep funk of depression. And it was 3.5 years later after Lisa died. And here I was working my It Works business. Things were taking off. Things were rocking. They were rolling. I had over 100 people in my organization just after a couple of months. And things couldn't have been any better. But yet I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I fell into this funk, and I, for 6 months, did nothing with my business. I did nothing. I didn't talk to anybody. We didn't have Zooms. We didn't have anything. We had the telephone, you know, we had email. So, but I didn't want to get on any conference calls. I didn't want to do anything. I just was, I was just in a bad place. And 6 months later, this is the coolest thing ever. 6 months later, I was laying in bed. It was April of 2006. I had already gone, I was a ruby. I hadn't even gone diamond yet. And so in April of 2006, there was a women's expo that always came to Nashville every year. I always looked forward to it. And I was laying in the bed, and I was trying to decide whether or not to get up. And, you know, just getting up sometimes was a big decision. And so I was laying there trying to decide, I really need to get up? No, I can lay here longer. No, I need to get up. And all of a sudden I heard an audible voice. And this voice said, "Do the Southern Women Show." And I was like, God, was that you? Was that really you? Do the Southern Women Show? I mean, you know, you think if God's going to speak to you, he would speak to you in a way that was more profound than that. But I was sitting there, and as I was trying to decide, I'm not asleep. I'm awake. I know that I heard an audible voice say, "Do the Southern Women Show." And about that time, my phone rang, and it was one of my distributors, and she said, because I was just sitting here thinking, wonder if we could get a booth at that Southern Women Show. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. And I told her what happened. She goes, well, I think we better get a booth at the Southern Women's Show. So I called. Now, this show was like 10 days away. And there was, this is a huge show. So I called. And the lady told me, she said, well, if you had called me yesterday, I would have turned you down. But we just had a booth cancellation this morning. I have one booth left. And I was like, okay, that's mine. So I gave her a credit card over the phone. And I said, that's my booth. And then I had no clue what we were going to do. We'd never done a booth before. I just knew. I called. What are we going to do? I just paid $850 for a booth. I don't know what to do. And she said, well, why don't you just wrap their chins? We never even thought about wrapping their bellies. So we cut ribbon. I went and got green polka dot ribbon, well, white polka dots, green ribbon with white polka dots. We made up these little signs, these little stickers that said, don't laugh at me, I'm losing inches now, which we can't say that anymore. But back then we could say that. And so we were going to wrap people's chins and tie that little tie up there and put it on top of their head and put that sticker on and let them walk around the show for an hour or 45 minutes and come back and get their result. And at that show, we had people lined all the way down the aisle waiting to be wrapped. And I didn't even bring saran wrap. They wanted their tummies wrapped, and I didn't have a place for them to wrap. So I sent one of the girls over to the hotel that was connected to the convention center. She went and got a great big roll of saran wrap, and she brought it back. I mean, one of those great big industrial rolls of saran wrap. And she brought it back, and we started taking girls to the bathroom and wrapping them. And it was the craziest thing ever. And at that show, the lady across from our booth, in her booth, it was her and her mother. Her name was Sharon. And Sharon sent her mother over, and her mother, her name was Elizabeth, came over and she goes, I want to do that chin wrap. So I wrapped her chin. Hey. So she wanted to do her chin. Somebody's knocking, never mind. Anyhow, she lost an inch in her chin. So then her daughter, Sharon, came over and she goes, I've been watching y'all for 3 days. And she said, what you want, what you have, everybody wants. What I have, nobody wants. I want you to wrap my chin, and if it works, I'm getting in with you. And I was like, okay, you know. So I wrapped her. Guess what? It worked. So she went back to her hotel room that night, and she signed up as a distributor. So she came back on Sunday, and she said, hey, I signed up. Now what are we going to do? How are you going to support me? And I'm like, oh, well, we'll do a wrap party. And she's like, well, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm like, I'll come to Raleigh. I can come to Raleigh. And so I called Blair. I'll never forget. I called Blair and I said, hey, where is Raleigh? Can I drive there? And he was like, oh, I don't know. And so he said, I'd rather you fly. I'd never flown by myself, ever. I hardly ever left my town, let alone going to somewhere where there were strangers. And, you know, what happened at that show, God gave me my spark. He gave me my spark. For 6 months, I had done nothing. And I got my spark at that show. And Sharon had booked all these expos with her other product, and she changed them all to It Works. And we hit the road. She goes, will you help me do these booths? And her and I hit the road, and we were wrapping people all over the map. And we had a blast. And that was April of 2006. By the end of June, I went diamond. By the end of September, I went double diamond. And it was nuts. It was just so nuts. Things were rocking and rolling. It was so much fun. And we were learning, and we were putting people into the business, and we were developing relationships. And I'm going to tell you, you've got to develop relationships with these people that you're bringing into the business. Become friends with them. Love on them. You know, they will stay with you through the good times and the bad if they know that you believe in what you're doing and where you're going, and they will go with you. And if they have a dream, they've got to have a dream. They got to have something they want out of life that's so important to them that they cannot get it doing what they're currently doing right now to make a living. So if you don't have that, if you don't have something you want that only a business like this could get for you, because I don't know where else you can create an income of $10,000 plus a month in a regular job. Would you ever make $10,000 a month in your job with what you're doing now? I would say no, but you can in network marketing, and you definitely can in It Works. So you get to the triple diamond level, you know, you're looking at between $8,000 and $10,000 a month. So in the 1st of January, 2007, Mark called all the diamonds and above to come to Greensboro, North Carolina. Nobody had gone triple yet. Our company was established in 2001. This was 2007. So it's 6 years into this company. Nobody has gone triple diamond in our company. And so Mark issued a challenge. The first person to go triple is going to get an all expense paid trip to Cancun or Jamaica. And I punched Blair and I said, that's my trip. We're going. I'm winning that. And immediately I just knew that, wow, this is huge. This is big. And he introduced the diamond bonuses, the 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. But back then it was $50 up to $100. Today it's $80 up to $150. Okay. So that's when he introduced that bonus. And we thought, wow, this is going to be huge, you know. So we came back and went to work. And then I got devastating news. My little sister, my only sister, had been diagnosed with lung cancer. And she was only given, 6 months to live, they said, if she lived that long. And it was inoperable. It was in a place where they couldn't get to it. And I told Blair, I said, I can't leave. I mean, back then, today, we can sit right here at our computer and talk to everybody all over the United States, all over the world, actually. But back then, we didn't have what we have today with Zooms and FaceTime and things like that. We had to get in the car and go, or we jumped on a plane, and we went and we launched people, and we went and put wraps on people, and we wrapped them, and we were all into our business. And so I told Blair, I said, I cannot leave my sister. This is, time is precious. And so I went to my sister and I told her that I had made a decision that I was going to put my business on the back burner and that I was not going to work my business and that I wanted to spend time with her. And she says, you're not doing that. She said, don't you realize this is what you were born to do? You were born for this. I was 50, this was in 2007. I was about to be 52. And she said, you were born for this. And it just hit me. She goes, well, look at all these people that are looking to you. Look at all the people's lives that are being impacted by you sharing this opportunity and you going and you wrapping people. Look at the people. And I realized, you're right. This isn't about me. And she said, this is so much bigger than just you or me. She said, this is about people's lives. This is something God has given you. This is your assignment in life. And I was like, you're right. And she said, so you're not staying here for me. You get out there and you hit the road and you go triple diamond. And that was in the end of January. And by the end of March, I went triple diamond. And I was the company's first triple diamond. And I called, my sister was the first person I called, and I said, I went triple diamond. And I'll never forget, I can always hear her voice in my head saying, I knew you was going to do it, girlfriend. I knew you would do that. She was just a little spunky little thing. And a week later, she passed away. And it just, I'm sorry, but her birthday is tomorrow. So she's really on my heart today. But I just always hear her whenever I get down, whenever I feel like, gosh, I'm just really struggling here, that, you know, these people aren't doing what they should be doing. And, you know, there's people quitting and there's people not, you know, just not doing for themselves, you know, and it's frustrating. I get it. It's frustrating. But you do have to remember, you're not in this by accident. You're in this because God put you in this business. Look at the people's lives you're touching. Alonda, you're in my vision right now. I see you. You're in the camera. Look at the lives you're touching now. Look at it. Think of the people the lives that are being changed. Carissa, look at the lives that are being changed by you doing this. Nina, look at these lives. Okay? There is so much more to this. And that's where you got to get a bigger vision of what you're doing. You're going to be helping people through the products that you're going to introduce to them. And if they choose to come on board with you as a distributor and to make some money, look at the lives that can be changed. How good will that feel to know that you had some small part in that? You know, it blesses me, it humbles me all the time when I look at what's happening in people's lives and I see that, and I realize that there was no way that I could ever give this up, or that I could ever be so selfish that I stopped building my business, you know. Hey, Galaxy 8, I need you to mute. I don't know how I can do that. So, can you find that, Carissa? Thank you. So, I became the first triple diamond. And it was hard. It was really hard because that next week, it had been a whole year after my sister, when she passed away on Monday. By Thursday, it was already a year since the Southern Women's Show that I did the year before, and I had already booked that show. We buried my sister on Wednesday, and on Thursday, I was at that show. I worked that weekend, and that whole, you know, because I had people there that were counting on me. It wasn't just about me anymore, you know. So I did it. I sucked it up and I did it. We found more people, you know. Then fast forward to October of that same year, I'm making the run for presidential. Hey, whoever has Galaxy S8, could you please mute yourself? I don't know who that is.
I'm doing it from my phone. I don't know how to do it on a computer.
Okay, hold on. Oh, it quit. All right. So, wow, who is it? They're still mute. All right, there we go. So, October of 2007, my sister had just died in April, but I'm making run for presidential. And my dad died. And again, we were having our very first conference with It Works. My dad died on October the 3rd, and our very first conference was going to be on October the 5th. And I told my mom, I can't do this. I was supposed to speak at that conference. It was in Tampa, Florida. And I just like, there's no way. And my mom said, you know how proud your dad was of you. And my dad was bedridden. And so, you know, it wasn't unexpected that he would die. Just didn't know when he was going to die, but we knew that he was not doing well. But yet it was my dad, you know. I was a daddy's girl, and he was my hero. So my mom said, your dad would want you at that conference. We had tickets to fly out early on Friday morning on the 5th. And so my dad was being buried in Missouri. We live in Tennessee. So we were able to arrange to get him transported to Missouri. It was about a 5.5 hour drive. Get him transported over there, and we did a small graveside service for my dad. And then we drove back that night, and then on Thursday, and then we were on a plane to Tampa on Friday. Because again, it wasn't about me. This wasn't about me. And I knew that my dad was so proud, and that he would want me to be doing what I was doing. So again, there's something else trying to stop you, you know. And I'm not saying that you can't grieve or that you can't have things that affect you. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you how I handled it. I was looking at a bigger picture. So then 2 years later, nobody's gone ambassador in the company. I was actually the first triple, their first presidential, and nobody's gone ambassador. And I'm making the run to ambassador. Y'all leaving? Ah, y'all, hang on 1 second. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. That's okay. So I'm making the run for ambassador. I'm supposed to go to Puerto Rico. I want to make sure that I get this out here because we got a big call, 9 o'clock. Mark, I don't know what he's got going, but something big's coming. So I'm making the run for ambassador. I'm supposed to be in Puerto Rico by October the 30th. I'm supposed to be in Puerto Rico because I'm doing a show there in Puerto Rico. And on October the 25th, I get a call from my mom, and my nephew passed away with pneumonia. He was 33 years old. And then later that day, I get another call, and it's my mom again, and she said, my Uncle Gary, my dad's brother, passed away of a massive heart attack on the same day that my nephew died. And I mean, I was just devastated. This is my brother's only child that passed away with pneumonia. And then my favorite uncle in the whole wide world, both on the same day, the 25th of October. And so we had 2 funerals back to back. My nephew's in Tennessee, and then my uncle in Missouri, where my dad was buried in the same town. So by the 30th, I'm on an airplane to Puerto Rico, and I'm numb. I can't even think straight. I'm exhausted. We did 2 funerals back to back, and it was just such a difficult time. But I had to be in Puerto Rico or cancel my booth. And I had already spent a lot of money on that and a lot of money on airline tickets and everything. And I had a distributor over there who was so excited about this, and I couldn't leave her by herself doing this, so I had to go. So for me, ambassador, I didn't even want to look at my back office. I was like, if I go ambassador, great. If I don't, I just don't know what to do. And I had every leg. I already had my presidential leg, my 2 triple diamonds, and I had my 2 double diamonds already in place to go ambassador. And I had 1 double diamond that had qualified month after month after month after month. She was short in October. Here I'm trying to go ambassador, and I just decided I'm not even going to look at it. Well, that morning of the 31st, I mean, we slept in Puerto Rico. When we got there, I slept. As soon as we got to Puerto Rico, I slept all night. I slept half the day on the 31st. And I woke up and something said, look at your back office. So I went in there and looked, and I had everything. The last double diamond leg was lacking, I don't know, about 5,000 in volume. And I'm like, oh, how are we going to do this? And guess whose leg it was? It was my spark from the first Southern Women's Show. It was Sharon from Raleigh, North Carolina. And she had left me a message the day before. And she said, I'm about $5,000 away from being back at double. And she goes, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll get it done. And she didn't even know I was ambassador. I didn't even tell her. Nobody had any idea I was going for ambassador. And so she got that volume. She got those customers, and I went ambassador on October the 31st, 2009. Took me 4.5 years to do that. And I have maintained every month after month after month after month after month. I have never lost rank in that ambassador rank, ever, because I build relationships. because I care about the people, because I work with people who want to work, who want to do something. And those that don't want to do anything, I try to just love on them and just make them feel that they're valued. I don't wait on them, but I love on them and I love them. And so all those things, you guys, anybody else would just, it got to the point where I was like, when it occurred to me that one of the reasons I haven't gone Black Diamond yet is because that subconscious thought, who else is going to die if I go Black Diamond? Right? I lost my sister at Triple, my dad at Presidential, my nephew and my uncle going Ambassador. So that has been a process I've had to work through. And, I just want to tell you that this is worth whatever you have to go through. It truly is. I know it's hard. This is not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, you really need some tenacity. You really need consistency. You really need to have what it is you want out of your life. You got to know what it is. You got to know that no matter what, you're not going to quit. Because with this new comp plan change, you are looking for 3 quality people. Okay? 3 quality people will take you all the way to Ambassador. And you're going to have some others along the way too. But 3 is what you're going to be looking for. Whether you brought them in or somebody else brought them in, doesn't matter. So I want to leave you with this, because then I know we got to get ready for Mark's call. When I first got started in It Works, I jumped in with both feet. And normally everything that I do through prayer. I always seek the Lord first and always say, Lord, is this something you have for me? God, is this something you want me to do or whatever? And I didn't. I didn't even pray about this. It was just so exciting. I was so excited. I jumped in this with both feet. Well, a couple of weeks into this, I was like, oh, I didn't even pray about this. I haven't even asked God if this is something that he put in my life, And so at that moment, I'll never forget. I immediately said, Lord, I'm so sorry that I did not pray and ask you if this is what you have for me. And Lord, really and truly, after 15 years in other network marketing things, I'm tired, Lord. We're tired of not finding the right company or the right timing and, just chasing our dream. And, do I even try one more time? And that was what I asked God. I said, do I try one more time? And I'll never forget that day asking God to give me some kind of sign, give me some confirmation, give me something that I know that I can run after this with everything in me. And God is good, y'all. After a couple of hours, I was flipping through a magazine and I saw a full page ad for Curves for women. And it was a little girl riding on a bicycle. And she's got the tails of her little thing. She's got training wheels on her bike. And the training wheels are off the ground. And she is riding that bike. And I, out beside it in red letters, I don't know about y'all, but in red letters, that's Jesus speaking in my Bible. If you have a Bible that has the red letters, that's when Jesus is speaking to you. And in red letters, it said, think of everything you'd miss if you didn't believe in trying again. And this is that picture. I took it out. I framed it. Look in the red letters. I have this in my office. I keep it in my office. This is my reminder that says, think of everything you'd miss if you didn't believe in trying again. And I look at what I would have missed. What I would have missed, y'all. The lives that have been changed. the dream that we live, the lifestyle that we have today. My beautiful home on the lake. Other people who've joined the Millionaires Club. You know, other people's lives, other people's homes. Because I said yes. What would I have missed? And that's what I want to leave you with. What would you have missed if you gave up? What would you miss? So I hope this helps you. If you've been struggling in any way, I could promise you, persevere through it, you guys. Get the good stuff in you. Get the personal development. Read the books. Become the person that God intended you to be. He didn't create any junk. He put you in this for a reason. And if you're still alive, He still has a plan for your life. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. Carissa?
What do you mean hope? This was amazing. What do you mean? I'll tell you, we appreciate you. This was amazing. This is what was needed. I mean, I know the story, but it's never too many times you can hear it to be reminded as to the different things that people go through, and to just remember to keep.
Whoops, she froze up on me. So you guys get ready for whatever Mark's going to announce tonight. I don't know what he's going to put out, but y'all, we're in exciting times in our company. And the keto line is amazing. And people really like it and they love it. They're buying it and they might as well be buying it from you. So get excited about this, y'all. Get excited about who we are as a company and the products that you offer. And start talking to everybody. If they tell you no, who cares? No big deal. Next. Next, next, next. Do whatever works for you. Do the host to post. Do little shows. Do little expos. Do one-on-ones. Whatever works for you. Just do it. Okay?
And remember to upsell. Remember to upsell.
Yes. Alonda is the upsell queen.
Yes.
Remember to get a cleanse. Everybody needs to cleanse.
Yes,
everybody.
They do. Yes, they do.
I knew it was a different event that I had went to. I can't remember who said it. Maybe Cammie, I'm not sure. But it was something along the lines of you're basically in a selfish mode if you're not asking everyone about this business. If you walk out of a store and you see that mom with her 2 kids struggling, or you see just this one person that you may think that they have everything in place for them. You never know what the struggle is. So, you're being selfish with this business by not sharing with as many people as you can, because Facebook and Instagram, you see this one person, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
That's right.
So you never know. So it's always, the best thing is to share it and tell everybody, ask everybody, be personable and ask.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
I love you. We're going to see what Mark has to say. Good night.
Good night, guys. Let's see here. Stop.